All right, guys, it is that time again. Another exciting episode in the world of Greyhawk. Tonight we are going to be continuing work on our Sisters of Battle bust here. You'll notice, those of you that have been with me for this time, you'll notice that there is a addition to the model this evening. The two arms have been attached. We're going to be doing some work on those arms this evening. Going to be doing some cleanup, a little detail work. And here on the Knights of the Game table painting mat is a set of sacrosancts here that we have recently assembled. Those are probably in the queue this evening. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get started on the first couple of steps of our bust here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little touch-up work with our black this evening. Right there, you see placements on our painting mat. And it may be tough to see on stream, but basically right here where I'm applying the brush, up there we go, you can see it there. Where I'm placing the brush at was a bit of the model that didn't quite get a good base coat applied to it on the first pass. So we're going to take care of that now. We're going to give that a few minutes to dry, and then we're going to go back in here and start working on the red parts of her cloak here and over here. I'll go ahead and touch that up while I got it. Welcome this evening to our viewers. If you're new to the channel, feel free to drop us a line here in the chat. Introduce yourself. Tell us where you're tuning in from. And if you need any adjustments to the audio, please let me know. What we're doing here is we're just coming in doing some light touch-ups before we begin to coat this badass girl in our final step and our matte varnish, which will seal in everything for us, and we'll call her done here eventually. Yes, we've been working on her for good few hot minutes now. Okay. Like I said, basically we're looking for areas where the base coat didn't quite hit it. And we're probably going to do a little work on her face this evening as well. Those of you that were with me in previous streams, you know that the face didn't quite finish. It didn't quite get the color that I was looking for there. So we're going to see what we can do with that this evening. Stand by while I hydrate. And the soundtrack this evening brought to us by the wonderful world of YouTube. interested, I can feel free to provide the link for proper crediting. Just clean that up in there. We are well on our way to calling this girl finished. But who am I kidding? This is hammer modeling. Nothing is ever finished when it comes to hammer models. Dusting in here. Clean our brush. Give it the old Bob Ross treatment. So now we're going to switch over to a smaller brush. I'm going to start working on picking out a few details on the arm here. Bit of the pot out of the little paint out of the pot. I'm gonna apply that and get that nice and thin so we can work with that. A little more than that. Nice, clean that up a little. Okay. I think that's what we're looking for right there. That'll do it right there. So we're gonna start picking in. She's got a few skulls on her gauntlets here. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna start picking that out. And this is Wraithbone from Citadel that I am using. Actually, let me do this and get you back in the camera first of all. Look at that. My mic has quit. I'm sorry, guys. Let me adjust that. Try that again. Checking one, checking one, checking one. Okay, there we go. Yeah, looks like she might gave up the ghost there for a moment. Looks like it may have shorted out. Not sure what happened there. Okay. Like I said, and again, if you are new here, I would like to invite all of our new viewers. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know how things are going for you this evening. We do appreciate, love running our mouths at new viewers. So if you're a hammer painter player, feel free to shout out your favorite army. Currently I am old school Blood Angels player, but I've been messing around with the ladies here pretty much since the last big box dropped. Not the Christmas box this past Christmas, but the launch set about a year or two ago. Of course, I was interested in them long before that. One of my fellow 40K players at the club had some old metal ones that I purchased off of him. He started getting involved in it at that point, and it's kind of been a passion project of mine since then. Okay. Like I said, and for those curious, this is actually not even a Games Workshop official model. This is a 3D print. And that just happened to come out very well. Okay. So let's see, where do we want to go next with this? You know what? Let's go to that face. We need to brighten up her day a little bit here. That face is a little dark. We're gonna go back into our Wraithbone. Again, we're going to pick up some more of the color and we're going to start thinning that down. And again, we're looking for the consistency, a good, nice, thin consistency here. I know it's a little bit tough to see it, but we're going to come here, we're going to start working, cleaning her up a little, brighten up that face. Because she is very, very dark. Now she's going to look very clown makeup-y here initially. So we're going to clean that up a little bit later. I know she's really, really bright. Her face, that is. And yeah, that's not quite the brightness we're looking for, but we have a trick for that. So that same Wraithbone that we just dropped on here, we're going to apply we're going to start mixing up a little flesh color here. And this is literally just an Apple Barrel, a flesh tone color from Apple Barrel. Apple Barrel, the acrylic, the same paint available at Walmart. I want to see how that turns out. Yeah, I mean, it was a little fluid. Nice and thinned down. So it looks a little more realistic. So she doesn't look as much like she's wearing. She doesn't look as much like she's in kabuki. Here. But you know, that might not be a bad idea for a future project, is to some nice Japanese kabuki sisters. Okay, that's a little bit brighter than I was intending. So we're going to have to let that dry. And we're going to come back and clean that up later. Let's clean our brush. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and start working on her cloak. Assuming I have enough color here to work with. Should have. We'll see what happens. Got to go by the shop and pick up some more materials at some point tomorrow anyway. We have to put some Mephiston Red on the list of items to pick up. Start thinning that down a little. Alright, and we will come in here and we will begin working on right here in the corner where her cloak begins. There. So looks like not a lot going on the Twitch tubes this evening. It's okay. We can sit here and enjoy the lurkers. Every view does help, ladies and gentlemen. It is definitely, don't think I don't appreciate it. I definitely do. We are at a point now in the streaming career that we are looking to increase a number of our metrics. One of those metrics being our viewer and chat counts. But do understand that you do not feel obligated. If you're a little shy, if this isn't for you, I completely understand. But your time, I do appreciate you taking a couple of moments out of your busy day to take a look into the world of Greyhawk. Go ahead and start working in the rest of this red. Very good. Apply that in. I think tonight we're going to go a little later than we normally do. We normally only do about an hour, hour and a half stream. But I think we might try to go for a little bit of a long haul this evening. Now, I know it's kind of not in the sweet spot for viewers here. I'm aware of that. But again, like I said, I do everything that you guys have done. Everything you guys are willing to take time out of your busy schedules to contact with you. I appreciate it. Just be in full disclosure here, what we're looking for the stream is kind of looking to turn a hobby into a bit of a part-time employment and a part-time sponsorship, because these models, these tools, they're not the cheapest things in the world. Looking for some sponsorship would be very, very nice, but gotta have time to get there. Gotta grind, as they say. And again, if this is your first time here at the channel, feel free to introduce yourself. Like I said, or if you're more of the shy type, that's okay too. You can feel free to lurk. We will not be offended. Fanatic, good evening. How are we today? I was told that you were feeling a little tired this evening by a mutual friend of ours. Well, like I said, even the lurk is appreciated. Every view helps. Brush cleaned up. Are you gonna do Stardew on stream? Because I know there's several. One of my fellow streamers here, that Mallowcat, who's going to be assisting us with the Scion stream coming up later this year, is also a Stardew fan. As is Shell Smiley, a friend of hers. Let's get this cleaned. And we're going to hydrate, which is extremely important. You should, man. Let's say there's a community for it on here on Twitch. You should. I say maybe consider the VTube community. I said that's going to take a little. That would take a little bit of practice, a little bit of heads up work to get involved into. But there is the VTube community, very popular here on Twitch. Like I said, Mallowcat, one of my favorite VTubers. And like I said, if you're interested in Stardew, I can get you hooked up. And I don't know if she's on tonight or not. It doesn't appear that she is. Got the three viewers this evening. I appreciate all of the viewers. Like I said, you could be anywhere in the world. You could be watching quite literally anyone in the world, but you took the time to come visit my little neck of the Twitch world, and I do appreciate that. Alright, so we're going to come back over here to the red. That's had a moment to dry. Yeah, it does appear that we are going to have to re-up on our Mephiston Red over at the shop sometime tomorrow. It's being a bit difficult to work with. And like I said, and as I said before, if any of you if there was any trouble with any audio issues, do feel free to make them known. As I don't use any kind of audio tracking on my own stream. I find it's distracting. But anything that you come across, do feel free to make it known so we can address it. Okay. Coming back to that red. Yes, I know it looks like a murder scene, but hey, it's red. I'm going to start applying another pass of red onto the cloak here. Slide that in there. Okay. Beat the devil out of the brush. Give us a good Bob Ross impersonation. Yeah, it was sort of an impromptu thing. I found out that heard that Gary was playing, and I was off work early. Had nothing else to do. Gary Brady, for those that are not familiar, he's one of our local musicians. Man could sing the phone book. Okay. So yeah, don't feel too bad about it. I said, just to be fair, I didn't realize I was going to be out, so entirely not on you. But what is entirely on me is the need to change this paint water. So if you guys will stand by for just a moment, I'm gonna take care of that. Yes, we clink the devil out of it. Yes. We clink the devil out of it like a cheap, knockoff Bob Ross. We call him Rob Boss. That's my name today. Rob Boss, not Bob Ross. I'm Rob Boss. Rob Boss, the Warhammer painter here on Twitch. Alright, so we return with a fresh pot of water. I think it's time we can go back and take a look at the face of our Bride of the Emperor here. So yeah, that's a little wider than I want to deal with. So we're gonna come and get some Kesslev's flesh out onto our paint mat here. Also, another color I'm probably going to have to look at picking up some more of. Oh, that's a little bit much. Okay, so we're going to take that and get it mixed. Come over where there's not any black when I start mixing that up. Nice thin consistency. Good mix going. Should be good. We'll start cleaning this up a little. And I was informed today that the next set of 3D prints are on the way. should be before the beginning of the next stream. We'll have those in hand and we'll begin working on those. So that looks good. Here we go. Clink the devil, guys. Maybe that needs to be my catchphrase for the stream. I don't know. What do you guys think? Clink the devil out of it? Think that should be think that can be a thing for us? We're gonna go back to our bleached bone here, and I'll show you why in just a second. We're gonna start. We're gonna pick out some of these details on the pistols here. Well, I do apologize. I'm having to do this off camera. I'm having to get very close so I can see it. So pull that right there. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have a quality camera yet, so you guys can see what I'm doing here. But hopefully, as it begins to take shape, you'll be able to see it a little in the future. Okay, we're gonna turn over, take a look on the other side of our pistol here. We have a bit more detail, a bit more of these wings. We're gonna see if we can pick these out. Right there's one. Tap that in. And for another pass of color. Doing this has made. Yeah, that's true. You did. Which, speaking of which, I may have to get you mod. Probably gonna have to get you mod status here before the end of the night, so you can get keep the Karens, Kevins, and in betweens out of here, and keep us a civil chat. So we're gonna come over here to the other pistol, and we're gonna do that same thing. We're gonna put in our little white base coat here. Well, it's more like, it's Wraithbone. It's more an off-white. It's almost like an ivory color. We're gonna so we can. Does it kind of lightens up some of this dark silverish gray here, so we can do some gold work on it later. Because just applying the gold over the silver is not going to give a very nice look. It's going to look very dirty. It's going to look very muddled. And if that's the look we were going for, that'd be fine, but we're not. Okay. Alright. Oh man, got a little black right there in the hair. Got into some of the paint, but that's okay. That's one of the cool things about using acrylic paint. When you make a mistake like that, you can literally go in and just clean it up. So we'll take the wood and we'll thin that down, thin it out, and maybe it might just be able to just thin it right off of there. Yeah, it's a little thicker than a little too thick. Basically, what it's doing is it's turning it into a wash. Which, truth be told, we were going to need to do anyway, but it's just not at this step. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling this down with the flow of gravity, basically so that shadows will appear. So we can can see a bit of definition in the lines of her hair. Clink the devil. Clink the devil. There we go. All over again. Alright. We're going to take that same... This was not planned, but I see I'm going to have to make this correction here. We're going to take that same wraith bone that we've been working with the entire time. I'm going to take a little more of it out. Get a little water out. We're going to thin this down. Nice and thin. Nice and thin. Nice and thin so we can control where this is flowing. Even with that black still a little wet, we can come in here and we can pick away our mistake. And even this will darken. It'll darken up the wraith bone, so she's almost like a dirty. She's gonna have like a dirty whiteness to her hair. She's almost like a sooty color. I mean, she's been on campaign for a while. She's she's seen some things. She's dealt with some of the dealt with a good few number of the enemies of the Emperor. So she's not really had time for the best hair hygiene in the world. Okay. We're gonna see more of. We're gonna see less of this problem on the next bust we do. Is it's going to be mostly a bald model. It'll be a Space Wolf that we're gonna be working on next. As soon as that bust is ready. That one is not in the current row or queue. I'm sorry, that's the word I'm looking for. The current queue of 3D prints. What we've got in the queue right now is basically a series of basically that size model and the transportation vehicle that they're going to be riding in. Like I said, and I'll be showing those guys off to you soon as I have them in hand. Probably going to be next stream. Actually, Fanatic, while I'm thinking about it, let me go ahead and give you... Let me go ahead and set you up here right quick. Violin Fanatic. Alright, let's add you there. And there you go. You guys are set. You are set to moderator. Alright. So when someone comes in here and decides to be a general pain in the ass, you have my permission to politely, or if you choose not to politely, escort them away out of the building. Alright, so our red is drying. Ooh, that's a nice pretty red. That's a really nice pretty red. It's patchy. It's not quite what I was looking for, but again, I'm having to make do. But that will work for now. Like I said, we're gonna get around and clean that up by the end of the next stream. But like I said, I still got to get my hands on enough paint to make that happen. Here we go, clinking time. Not in my own stream. Most of the time, yes, but not in my own stream, no. Like I said, you'll know who to move. Let's be honest. You'll know who needs to go. And you would think, common sense would apply in the chat on here, right? Not always. So, that's why mods are used. So while she is drying, we're going to put her off to the side, and we're going to begin taking a look here at the next part of tonight. We're going to look at the Celestants. And where a large number of people would already have had these primed, I prime by hand. And by prime, we basically mean putting a base coat down for the paint to continue to paint to stick. It is entirely possible to paint directly on the model here, but you don't get the same visual effect. And like I said, acrylic works best in layers. So we're going to put down a layer of black here on the model. We're literally just going to come in here and we're going to start making a pass on here. This is almost the way I do it. It's almost like a dry brush, but it's not. It's the dry brushing technique, but it's not an actual dry brush. I use all of the paint, where a dry brush you would wipe off the majority of the paint and use this to hit the highlights and hit the highest parts of the model. My technique hits pretty much the entire model as it is assembled. I've also used this technique on the models while they're still on the frames. Kind of gets the same effect, but this technique here is just faster. And I'm intending on having these girls on the table tomorrow, as my local venue does not care so much about a fully painted model, as long as at some point in the future they become fully painted. So like I said, we're just applying our first coat of basic black here. Okay. And for those that are familiar with the sisters, I'm playing a custom chapter. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong terminology. A custom sisterhood. An order, if you will. It's referred to as the Order of the Sanguine Chalice, as they are intended to be a order that accompanies my Blood Angels on campaign. They are using red robes, very similar to the Order Martyr Lady robes that you saw there on the bust. Their armor is a nice granite gray, Celestia gray for those that are familiar with the colors. Okay. Another second pass of that. This will dry likely before. Basically, I'm going to take that same line right there and do this to all of them. And this first one will probably be mostly dry and ready to paint on by the time that I get back to it. But we will not know that yet until we go through and do the rest of it. And you're probably going to ask, for those who are familiar, say, why are you not, Gray, why are you doing difficult and just not using a rattle can? Okay, I can't find a black color that I like, thanks to this current situation with this whole shipping crisis. And two, this is just a really, really old school way of doing it. And if you know me, you know I'm all about keeping the old school ways of doing things alive. And also, as a third note, the rattle can method, a lot of times it misses some of the darker parts of the model and some of the recesses, and it makes it a little bit difficult to paint it at that point. Go in there and tap that. So we're going to put her off to the side. We're going to start on the next sister in the squad. details. Get in there. Get in there. Get in there. Get in those nice tight spots. Totally not a sexual euphemism. I just realized my mic's a little low. You guys might not have been guys and gals and everything in between may not have been able to hear me, and I do apologize. I just realized this. Okay. Really digging this background music too. So it's just a channel I found on YouTube. That's all they play is just these nice orchestral, basically background music streams and nice battle music. This particular one is a Viking inspired soundtrack. Apologies. The words come off a little rough sometimes. I'm Southern, damn it, sue me. Okay, I'm gonna start doing that work in there. Give her a nice. Right, pull some of this excess pigment down. She is at a good basing stage. Let's go ahead and step over to our next one. This one being the leader of our little unit here, the Sister Superior as she is known. Her model is going to be a little more detailed, a little more time spent on her when we get to that stage. So she's probably going to be the last model I paint of this unit. Okay. She's starting to get nice and finished up there for me. And like I said, and guys, viewers, I promise, please don't let the camera quality here kind of steer you away from the stream, because I promise we will be upgrading everything in the future. But it's just literally a matter of the time and money investment. Put it right there on the rest of her cloak. See if this helps a little bit for you guys. Oh yeah, there we go. Shed some light on the situation. You can actually see what I'm doing now. It's awesome. Stand by, guys. We are an hour and 4 minutes into our stream this evening. Okay, so we are making pretty good time. Slow that right there. Also, I'm a Tay fanatic because I'm getting ready to start doing my setting up the merch shop for the channel here. Clink the Devil Out of It is now a t-shirt. You're very welcome. Just as soon as I have time to do up the design, Clink the Devil Out of It is indeed going to be a t-shirt. And yes, you will get one. Where's everybody at this thing? I was really hoping we could get more people going in here tonight. It's weird. People are saying it? Oh, okay. That's what I needed to know anyway. Alright. Moving back to the task at hand. Yep, you got a t-shirt coming. She's being a little bit of a difficult little bugger to get to. Some of her fiddly bits are being a bit, well, fiddly. Start her. So that's about what we need for her. A little bit more work. A few more parts. We need to touch right in there. Get in there a little closer so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm gonna set her up. There's also plans a little later, at some point, probably just whenever thought crosses my mind. We're gonna pull out both the Swamp Orcs that I play for Age of Sigmar, and we're gonna be doing my journey into building the Lumineth on this channel as well. Building and assembly, painting, getting table ready. And again, once the equipment budget is satisfied, we'll be doing some live gameplay on here. Some live battle reports. If that's something you're interested in, stay tuned. So the next part of this is not particularly conducive to stream. It's probably not gonna even attempt to show it because it's gonna require me to get really physically close to the model, get like eye level with the model, and get very intimate with a piece of plastic. And none of you really probably want to see that, and even if you did, again, it's going to be a little difficult show on camera. Okay. So while we're Finishing up the base coat on this girl. Okay, just a couple more places. Alright, so she should be getting about there. So I think that's about as good as we're gonna get on this girl. Sit her up to the side. Alright, y'all. It's that time. You has a sword. You has a sword, and I'm jealous because I don't have a sword at the moment. I has a sword in my wish list, but I does not has the sword as of yet. I has a mini brush. Yes, I have lots of brush. I have a pretty extensive collection of brush that I actually need to put in the brush cleaner now that you mention it. So might go ahead and do that on stream this evening. And as I suspected, yeah, the first girl, her paint is ready to go, or her base coat's ready to go. So we're going to give this Celestia Gray here, we're going to give this a good shake. We're not going to clink the devil, we're going to actually physically shake the devil out of this one. Alright, pop that loose. May have to do a clean or change our order again. We'll see it momentarily. So we're going to start putting them a little gray down there. Now this might already be adequately thinned for us. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's going to be pretty, yeah. That's not too bad. Okay. Stir it up. Oh yeah, stir it up. Okay. So as I said before, the carapace on these girls is going to be Celestia Gray, and then her robes are red, and it's the same red that I use on the Blood Angels. It's not regular red. It's almost like a terracotta red, a custom color that I use. Yes, we are going over the sigil right there. We're going over that with gray, but we're gonna go back and clean that up later. Unfortunately, that camera didn't focus, and I apologize. But last time I tried to get it to focus, it dropped. It's completely out of focus. But we'll give it a shot. Turn off this, and we'll see what it does. So basically, we're coming right down here, right onto the plate, onto the breastplate, or the boob plate, as some of us like to call it. Because how else do you know they're female? Good job, Games Workshop. Yeah, way to be sexist, guys. I'm gonna need that light back on. It's a little dark in here this evening, but it is 11 o'clock at night. More appropriately, it's actually 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock at night. 12:04 a.m. my time. Okay, we're gonna keep working on this. Get back in for another pass of paint. Define mods. Add mods to C Drive. So that's starting to dry out for me, so we're going to put another pass of that down. Yeah, one of the benefits to using acrylic on these models is the fact that they do thin down very nicely with water, but unfortunately the water does kind of reduce the drying time a little. You can put some chemical in there. It's okay. How the mod Stardew? Okay. That explains it now. But as I was saying, you can put certain chemicals here in the paint to kind of reduce the drying time. It's literally called a retarder medium. But very careful about using that word on Twitch. But unfortunately, I do not have any available at the moment. I'm out of that, and I need Hobby Lobby to get off their rear ends and get some more on the shelf. Either that or I need to add it to my wish list and pray to God that one of my viewers will be nice enough to send it. Okay, I'm going to tap that in. So question is Stardew the farming game that you told me about, or what? Because I'm not as familiar with that one. Pretty much everybody on here plays, it's Stardew's big in the community, but lately a lot of it's been Phantasma. And a lot of the JRPGs, to be fair. Nice, start to keep that, thin that down a little more. Am I asking for a Christmas present and it's not even my next birthday yet? Gray. Of course, Greyhawk would paint in gray. Though, for those that are familiar with D&D, you get that reference. Okay, plug that in. And I think that's coming out very nicely, actually. I said I'm just gonna have to leave myself a note that I need to get more Mephiston Red tomorrow. Can't really complete these girls without it. Alright, it's time. And also, if you're curious, that's a Gerber baby food jar. They make really good paint water jars. Still not quite thin enough. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and come in here below the cloak. We're gonna start working on the legs of the armor plates. Apply a nice thin layer. Well, as I said earlier, acrylic works best in several thin layers. So while this looks very splotchy, what's going to happen is it's going to dry, and then the next layer is going to pick up and cover the spots that the initial layer didn't cover. I'm really vibing on this music. So is anyone else getting a really good, nice vibe off of that? Some of this paint back up. Trying to make it last a little longer. See, the other thing too about putting thinning this down, it actually makes the paint go a lot further on the model, and you end up not having to purchase it as often. Little tricky, difficult spot to get to here, right on the inside of her leg. Basically, right behind the pole of her pole of the axe, right there. And like I said, I would not have even, to be honest, I wouldn't even assemble these girls were it without painting those little hard to get to spots. But I need them assembled to have them on the table for a game tomorrow. And Fanatic, if you could clarify which the music. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So is the volume good on it? Alright, so that's drug beyond use. So we're gonna put down another pass. There we go. Yeah, that's. I like the way this is turning out. And basically, later, once her paint is finished, and I put a nice matte sealer on here, nice matte varnish. We're gonna go back with some tacky glue on the base, and we're gonna put a dynamic base on the model here. I'm not 100% sure what that base is going to be as of yet. I have some gravel and almost like railroad ballast that I've used for years. But that's literally that is only because I'm a bigger fan of using the snow ballast, but in recent years it's got to the point where it's almost impossible to find that snow. that snow flock, and flock being the term for the material itself that's used. And I can find it in, in very, very small batches. And when I say small batches, we're talking less than an ounce. That's just a couple of grams to you metric guys. But it is, at least at one point in time, it was available in very, very large tubs. And it's one of those tubs that I've been trying to get my hands on for now literally years. Because I'm also a Khador player for War Machine. Yay, War Machine! The game that hardly no one plays anymore, but the models are still cool for. And they are basically modeled heavily off of Russia. And I desperately need the snow flock to make that army look halfway decent. So maybe I need to add that to the wish list too. Though I feel a little greedy, to be honest, putting a wish list on this channel, and I've been streaming less than a month. But hey, you never know. Okay. I'm gonna clean that part up. And okay. So time in total, I just thought about it. On the bus sitting over there, I probably have a good about 35 or 40 hours of work on that girl. And she's still not, really, she's really still not really at the quality that I really would like her to be. But it's also the first time I'd ever tried to paint a bus, so I guess not to be too hard on myself. But, the perfectionist in me kind of forces it to happen. That's that. Okay. Okay, find the next part of our right there. Okay. We'll start it in the corner right here. Man, we're gonna have to use this channel again on another stream. This guy here is really good. I was using almost like a Celtic channel. Celtic, however you prefer the pronunciation. But I was using that channel in previous streams. But I kind of just stumbled over the channel that we're hearing tonight. Literally just, about 10-15 minutes before we went live. And this guy's got some good stuff. I said, and anyone interested, feel free to message, DM me here on Twitch and get you the link. And as usual, we're gonna go ahead and put this gray down over the top of the aquila wings there. They're not gonna stay that color, but just for sake of coverage of the rest of the shoulder pad, we're going to go ahead and apply that on there. And what will happen is we'll go back over that again later and clean up in our cleanup step, and we'll make it look how we actually want it to look. Clean all this in here up. Clinking time. Up to 4 viewers now. Congratulations, whoever you are. Appreciate you stopping by. You could be anywhere on Twitch this evening, but you chose to be with us here in the world of Greyhawk, and that is, do appreciate it. If you feel so inclined, feel free to drop us a word or two here in the chat. Introduce yourself. We love hearing from new people. If not, if you're a little bit more of the shy type, that's okay too. Lurks are appreciated. Every view helps. Let's see, and what we're doing here tonight, we are painting up some Celestin Sacrosancts this evening. Or at least doing the Carapace armor for them. The robes we're going to be working on later once I acquire the proper colors. Or reacquire, more appropriately, the proper colors to do those robes. So we're working tonight with Celestia Gray, is what you're seeing me work with here. And while I have a second before I forget it, a plug there for the two logos that you're seeing on the corner of the screen, right over there, right around in there somewhere. First is going to be Blue Ox Games. It's my local gaming shop. Yu-Gi-Oh, Card Fight Vanguard, and Pokemon. Obviously, Warhammer 40k, Age Sigmar. Everything you need in the way of gaming is available from Blue Ox Games. BlueOxGames.com. Tell them Greyhawk sent you. The other logo is for Scion the Sands of Time. This is a tabletop RPG that's going to be broadcasting here on the channel coming up in the late spring, early summer. And it's going to be a collaborative tabletop RPG between myself and a number of other streamers here on Twitch. Melicat Meow is going to be joining that. Llama Maji is going to be joining as well when he has time to do so. As well as a number of off-stream talents that are going to be joining us. If that sounds like something you're interested in, stay tuned. There's more information on that will be forthcoming in the next couple of weeks. We are currently in the process of waiting on commission and several pieces of commissioned artwork that is going to be used for the game. Once we have that artwork, we're going to be finishing up our writing process, and we're going to be going live with that. Okay. And also, I know it's covered here, but Knights at the Game Table is a online 40k community. Battle reports, painting seminars, even tabletop playing tips and tactics. Available on Knights at thegametable.com. And they also provide up to, if I'm not mistaken, up to a 20% discount on all items Games Workshop, as well as those same card games I mentioned earlier. Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, the works. That shop is out of Bastrop, Texas. And full disclosure, it is not a free community. It does cost. I was provided a lifetime membership as a result, as to plug this community. But to me, even if I had to pay for it, it would be absolutely worth every dime. Okay. So go feel free to check them out, see if that's something you could be interested in the future. Alright, so her armor is set up. And now we're going to move over to our sister Superior. She has her shield applied, so we're going to take a little more time with her. Okay. Alright, so we're going to start on her leg first. Go right in here. brush that I'm using this evening, this is just a basic. Literally, this is the Dungeons and Dragons WizKids Minis painting tutorial set. This is just a basic brush out of that set. It's very equivalent to the Citadel. I don't want to say it's the dry brush. It's probably, I would say, more, not quite the extra small detail brush, but probably the next brush up from that one. Like I said, I know it's a little bit tough to see it on the stream until the camera has time to adjust, but there you go. Like I said, now this brush does need to be have some soap applied to it and cared for, but you get the basic gist of what I'm working with. Okay, hour and 36 minutes into the stream, and I don't know why I said that. I felt TikTok. Yes, it just felt appropriate. It's like we're in a, sounding like we're in a telethon here. So we're in the, the feed Greyhawk telethon. We're going to the Feed Greyhawk charity. Your dollars go to feed hungry Greyhawks, mainly me, as well as helping me get more of these things to play on stream. Okay. Ooh, nice. Anyone's getting these really visual images of Genghis Khan and the riding across the steppe with this music? Because I am. And I know, and it's not even Mongolian music. It's supposedly Norse music, but it's kind of, I'm getting that same vibe off of it. And I wish Scald was here tonight, man. This would be right up his alley. So here's where we have to be very, very, very careful. We have to take our time, and we need to get this, apply this very, very carefully into this edge right here. We can clean that up later if it becomes an issue. Don't think it will, but anyway. Frigido? Nice. Didgeridoo, what, however it's pronounced. Alright, we're going to go right here at the top and start working on the breastplate here. Our gray. What we're doing here is we are literally letting the brush do most of the work here for us. That's one of the other benefits of having the paint nice and thin, is it'll flow. It'll flow basically right off the bristles for you. All you really have to do is control where it's going. Side up. I'm gonna get a little more water, see if we can take another pass out of this. This one's gonna be a little bit difficult to get to. Okay, I stand corrected. It wasn't so bad. That one might be though. Come in here in this corner. It's a benefit of having these nice small brushes is we can get in here in these very, very tight spots. Fortunately, we were going to do this backpack in this color anyway, so any bleed over is not going to be a problem. Take a little water, get us nice and thinned. So we're going to probably end up, we got 3 of them done this evening. And to be fair, this actually is not taking a very long time as far as in scale of, in the grand scale of things. It's been a relatively quick process to getting it to partially ready. Like I said, once I get my next colors, we'll go ahead and have it completely tabletop ready. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make these gauntlets here. I'm gonna do those in gray as well. Basically, anything on this model that is steel, ceramite, metallic is going to appear in this Celestia gray color. I said, if you guys are having any trouble hearing me, just feel free to yell at me in chat. I mean, hey, speak up, dumbass, or something to that effect. I promise I won't be offended. Unless it's Satan presides that says it, then I might be a little offended by being yelled at by Satan. Mainly because I didn't yell first. There's a hierarchy, And what I'm doing here is almost taking I'm dry brushing in here. Just realized that I'm dry brushing in here to basically put down the nice that nice gray basing that you see applied to the rest of the armor here. I was basically trying to get that same effect on the shield, but rather than apply it like that, I literally just dry brushed it on there. Mainly so I can get the rest of the paint off the brush, and so I can use as much of the paint as possible. Okay. That one's ready to go. Here. And this almost gives the shield almost like an aged appearance. It's not quite what I was looking for, but I like it. I'm gonna stick with it. Okay. Put her right there. Y'all already know. Clink the devil. Okay. You know what, guys? It is 12:30 in the evening, and I have been awake since 6 o'clock this morning because life and work, jobs suck. So you know what? I think that is actually going to go ahead and wrap us up for the evening. We actually got quite a bit done here. We're going to bring back onto screen. our bust as we continue to finalize the details here. She might be making another appearance before the end of the month. On my next stream, we'll have to decide once I have time to look at her and see what remains to be done. The ladies here, they definitely will be making another appearance. Now, why would I want to go to bed? Why would I want to do a thing like that? Granted, I do enjoy sleep, but just no, I'm not going to bed. You can't tell me to go to bed. You're not my real mom. You know what? Fine, I'll go to bed. If it makes you happy, I'll go to bed. So, because Fanatic said so, not because I was apparently already going to do it, because Twitch Mom said so, we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping up this evening, and we're gonna remove the exam gloves. You're not wrong. You're really not. I forgot about that, but you're not wrong. Man, that's that brings back some memories. I forgot about that. Twitch wife. Okay, there you go. You know, it feels a little weird now that I've said Twitch mom and you said Twitch wife. That feels a little incestuous. You know what? We're gonna pretend I ever said anything about mom. It's gonna be Twitch wife. Okay, there you go. There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, Violin Fanatic, my lovely Twitch wife. Probably gonna be streaming sometime in the future herself. But as for us, it's going to be time for us to start wrapping up this evening. Can't be 100% guaranteed of when our next stream is going to be. Depends on how things work out at my other job, as well as life itself. But you guys will know pretty much the same time that I do. I'm trying to basically get us on every schedule for a stream every Tuesday evening. But again, work is trying to be a pain in the ass about it. But again, stay tuned in the future. There's going to be more Sisters of Battle being painted here. More busts. There's a Space Wolf bust on the way. Probably going to be at some point. We're going to be doing another little, as the holidays permit. Going to be doing some pagan streams here. Those that are not familiar, I am an ordained pagan minister through the Universal Life Church Seminary of Modesto, California. But we'll burn that bridge when we get to it, and then rebuild it so we can burn it again. We're going to take our final quick hydration break here. Drink them if you got them. Lipton green tea citrus. It's great. Only because I couldn't get Arizona. But that's going to do it here tonight from Greyhawk headquarters. I'd like to thank all you guys for stopping, guys and gals, and all you in-betweeners for stepping in tonight, hanging out with me for a couple of hours. I'd like to thank Fanatic, our newly acquired mod, for keeping me company in the